And I know what time it is.
Yo, me too, bro. Yeah. Iron. Shit. Moorish Master MC. Hey, yo. What up? What up? You already know. Audio mechanics, what up? Yo. No need for a swatch wash. I read the time in the signs like prophets and seers. Put a hex on the beers. Put some wicker on Leopold and Mussolini offspring. To the ancestors, to their blood as my offering. Ochunolokulia, may I show me reflections in water like balls of crystal. Walls with Venus missiles. Sun gaze and sea gods keeping from behind. I'm learning to love instead of hate and be kind, cause yes, I know. I'm thinking it's time for the wake up. Good morning as I'm yawning. Check my phone, it's only 2 a.m. Thoughts bubble like a cauldron. Feeling the tonin drip from my pineal gland. Activating my mitochondrial DNA strands. Stimulating my chakras like a camera captures. I did foresee the rapture. Stones falling in Turkey like rain from the sky. My farmer shoveling thousands of bees that died. From radioactive waves from cell phone towers. As niggas babble and debate falsehood for hours. No PhD, but they call themselves doctors. We living in the time of false prophets. When we hear them speak, got the feeling awkward. It's like they speak a language I don't understand or talk with. Their tongues fork like utensils, and they stay playing with your mental.
I know what time
Lamism developed in Tibet in the Tang dynasty and then passed into Mongolia and northeast China. Lamaism is the Buddhism practiced in Tibet. This type of Buddhism is the Indian Mahayana Buddhism, intermingled with elements of Asian Tibetan religions. High person indicates great stature in the Buddhist religion, a noble man of much wisdom and good works, standing higher than all others. Therefore, a high person, a Tibetan Buddhist Lama, is like the abbot in Chinese Buddhism. Abbots are the monk instructors. They pass on their wisdom in the same way as any other type of teacher. The abbot.
Step down from me 13th step. Stranger, who's black here, take first step. Won't save you, KRS is my nature. Then correction papers, I'm a motherfucking savior. Hey, big thanks to my makers, not just high. See you later to my haters. Keep it up and drop a planet on these traders. Even plus, got full principle. The fifth is just who damn government, it's not us, the people. Me and mama, the papa, come fuss. Find them within the internal compass. Jump on the llama when the industry holds from the drama when it starts back up. More on top when we alter this world more than just, hey, what's up for the slaughter? The abbot, the panda, nobody grander. The stature, Prophet Noble to Ali is the answer.
The abbot, the abbot, the abbot.
Yeah.
The abbot, the abbot, the abbot. A noble man, with much wisdom, and good works, The abbot.
Our abbot brought us Islamism, Lucas unity or divisionism. He never died, he survived the great schism, avalanche lies and libel. He made us national, not tribal. Think of your persona, don't throw away your Bible. Affirm, never swear, make sure not rival. Honors to the mothers, these are menstrual cycles. To make waves tidal, I'm his disciple. Teachings of our abbot needs to go viral. We recycle, Quran questions, recital, chakra spiral, lower self stifle, so delightful. Awaiting higher self arrival. Trained us to be mental fittest for survival. Gave up the slave tag for ancestral titles. Back from the dead when the abbot tapped my spinal. Not the heavy metal band, but the path of the left hand.
The abbot, the abbot, the abbot. The Abbot. A noble. Much wit. And good work. The Abbot.
Developing inner self is like building physical muscle. Even when we're physically still, we know the spiritual hustle. Must you question our proper answers and lessons? Been in sessions with those that develop spirit like professions. The message is trust thyself. The more we know, balance with the more that we know there's more we don't know. Gotta grow still. Decays the only other option. I don't like that feel, so I cut and connect with real. Not just to heal, to thrive. To escalate our inner state, what's focused on survive. We better now we rise. Divide plan, harmonizing my logic and inner man. Stand still, listen to inner voice, articulate real. Fulfillment of the goal of oneness is truly silence. Inner outer self is one. No plus, no minus, or minus. MYND or harmonization. Physical and spiritual, and us creations waiting.
The Abbot.
Yeah.
A noble. Much wit. And good work. The Abbot.
It's a journey for whoever's worthy to learn of self and not to occupy behavior dirty. It's still a controversy. Flat earth, round earth, who the first people? They try to calculate a formula to keep you equal, but I am the nemesis to all you supremacists, putting all the emphasis to crush all your benefits, distorting what was relevant, tracing back to Genesis. The proof is in the pudding. We impeach more than presidents. Still we take your precedence, uplifting humanity. Since now you dirty Moors, I'm standing with you begging me. Year 1933 was a tragedy, a blessing in the same breath, removing all the chains from the brain, soul plain left, never disappear, it's a century from this plain flesh. Student always learning, this is certain, I am shameless. The abbot to the abbot, we go into the same test.
The Abbot. The Abbot. A noble. Much wit. And good work. The Abbot.
Abbott says don't abort the mission. Never waited for the course decision. Escape from this corporate fiction. Sometimes high, sometimes low. Phase in and out. Constant switching, different route. Avoid the friction. Watch your mouth. Change addiction. Status out. No jurisdiction. What we about? Most on listen. Build this house. My soul is since the beginning. South. We in remission. Got no doubt. My prophet's mission. My prophet's vision.
A noble man. The Abbot. The Abbot. The Abbot. The Abbot. The Abbot.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th day. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence alarm me similar to a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Prince Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm rock face, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets took me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sorry, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. And over through I lay in plain sight. But people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Going in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death given slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astral plane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life. Finish him.
Moorish Moor, key man or oracle. Using trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost in metaphorical, holy books of metaphysics. Facts like a dirty Moor or a Drew Ali critic. Calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved. Or cut like a close shave. Drowned in my brainwaves. Squash my heat waves. Activating Kundalini. Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini. Selassie I in exile. Reptile in Genesis. Negus appearing real. all I see is false evidence. Here they are feminists, stomped on by elephants. Won't let go prejudice, but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the cold magnetic resonance, Apis horns of the sacred book, all maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence. Ace all the testaments, tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wandering the earth plane with no veil shades, keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades, not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets, holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors present Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Bet you won't want to give it a try.
I bet you won't.
I bet you won't. I bet you won't want to give it a try. But we'll leave them alone for right now. Islam Talk and Moors Worldwide. We got about 45 minutes, so we want to try to get everything in because at 8 o'clock, we're going back to our Kemetic studies. We're going back to our Moorish science at 8 o'clock. So we want to get it all in because we want people to be clear that we ride with the master teachers.
Islam.
We ride with the master teachers. You want to double check? Go to Canaanland Moors, Moorvel, Moorvengers,
Yep.
Moor, letter V, EL, Moorvel, Moorvengers. And let's go watch that to see who we rep. Right. So honors to the good brother at morrisdirectory.com for doing the work for the people, because the people are who this is about. This is about the people. This is not about the people who started websites. This is not about the people who started doing lectures. This is not about the people who could go on stage or go in front of a camera and tell you whatever. It's not about them. It's all about you. This has everything to do with you, because we already got our birthright. We're not confused. We're not Negro, black, colored, Ethiopian, black, African, Indian, tribes or whatever, none of that. We know that we're Moors. So as Moors, we have an obligation to humanity. And then we know humanity is mother. So this is not some, you know what I mean? We're over here and we're in the bushes and we got the slingshot picking people off or whatever. This is not what today is. Today is to show you that this is about the people. Because the more that has Moorish directory up for the people, he gets people calling him. He has to do, some of it is PR. Some of it is counseling, because our people are crazy coming into nationality and birthrights. They're nuts, and we fix people. Moorish nationality and birthrights fixes people. So honors to Noble Drew Ali, to the highest. Nobody else gets any props. I don't care what your name is. You're not getting props. All the props go to Noble Drew Ali, because everybody learned from him and don't want to give him his honors. The more gets people who reach out to him, and somebody reached out to him and stuff was just weird. Now, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Brother Yusuf doesn't know what's going on. And this mother doesn't know what's going on. She reach out to the Moor reach out to me, built with the sister. I was like, yo, you want to go live? She's like, yo, let's go live. All right, let's go live. Because we don't know what's going on. And this is not us. We're not asking. This is someone out there that's inquiring about more science, inquiring about nationality, inquiring about Noble Drew Ali, and getting run around the place. Instead of just because, interestingly, all these people know the master teachers, but we'll let her talk. This is law, mother. Just get your mute. You're muted right now. I don't know if you're ready or not, but when you're ready, just click the unmute and we're good to go. Because of course, this is telling me that you're muted. So, she get ready. So we brought up more Avengers because we want you to know that we are with the master teachers. Right? There's a certain body of Moors that's who we deal with. That's who we've always dealt with because that's the foundation, just what it is. And we noticed that with certain things that are just popping up out of nowhere, claiming to be able to do whatever for the Moors, we notice that just like the colonists, they graft themselves onto a master teacher to make their name.
Say that again.
Just like the colonists grafts himself onto our history. They're going to destroy noses and all that stuff on statues, but in secret, they're dressing up like Moors as Freemasons.
Yep.
Right? So the same way they graft themselves onto our history, these people who are trying to make a name for themselves using the Moorish birthright, when it doesn't work like that. We're telling you as students, we're going on 10 years. Students, you just got thrown Grand Sheik and stuff like that because ain't nobody else step up to do the job. Trust me, I don't want to be Grand Sheik because stuff is nuts. If we start playing Grand Sheik and all that stuff, people would not be happy. People been playing games with this. And the issue is that they're not even hiding. They're not even hiding. They're just doing whatever they want to do. Right? They're just doing what they want to do. And then people praise Allah for thinking people like this mother who stopped and said, hold on a second, something's wrong here. Something's wrong here. I'm just trying to learn something, but something's not right. Because I'm supposedly paying for it, but I'm not receiving anything for what I put out.
And once the wheels start turning, then you start questioning things, because there's some questionable things going on. Islam, mother.
Yes, shalom, shalom, my brother. Yeah, there are some questionable things that are going on. I recently signed up for a course by one of the, as you put it, the master teachers, and it was almost, in my opinion, it appeared to be like a bait and switch. The master teacher was used to lure the students in under a precept of learning a certain concept. But as the weeks went on, it became more and more apparent that the concept or the teaching really wasn't either one flushed out enough, or two really meeting the needs of those that paid for that particular course.
No, let me ask this question. Now, from the, because you said that them using the master teacher or whatever, right? Now, the master teacher, this master teacher is credible. Like the information that you got from this master teacher, you fact checked it, and you can definitely ride with the master teacher, right? So how do you think that they're using them?
Well,
Like, when
one
you
of
come
the
to that position.
one of the, in my opinion, the master teacher is very knowledgeable and has many years of experience, as well as has published several books in his field of study. And as you know, when you come into especially the Moorish science temple, you become an adept. So you should be well versed in certain concepts. And this particular master teacher was by his credentials, and as you say, by going out and just doing some independent research, you could see that he was very credible. And so that was kind of used and was promoted throughout the course as him being very knowledgeable, his books being available, him being a very published, and him, as well as him also being associated with other master teachers, or folk that are, or luminaries that are very well positioned
Right.
within the Moorish Science Temple. So
Mhm.
that's what I meant by that.
Right. Brother Yusuf, you have any questions thus far? Or
Yeah,
anything
it's
to add from earlier or whatever?
yeah, it's fine, mother.
I'm not a mother. That's why I got a little thrown. But thank you. You can just call me.
Or you can touch
You can call me
touch
Miss
on
or
that too.
Ms.
You might as well touch on that, Brother Yusuf, since you're
I might be a spiritual mother, but not a physical.
Oh, there we go.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. There we go. Right, there you go.
That's why
Yeah, she knows.
first called. I was like, is he talking to me? I was like, oh, wait a minute.
She knows it though. She said it though. She said it. Once you said the spiritual mother, that's what it's about.
Yeah, I got lots of spiritual babies. Trust me.
All right, there we go. There we go. Now we're talking.
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I got a quick question. Just I was wondering, like, what was the name of the course? Like, what kind of course was this? What was it supposed to be? What were they supposed to be teaching? in this course?
They were teaching contract law in this course.
Now, did you come out of knowing anything about contract law, or coming out of it more confused about contract law?
I came out, and for me, I came out more confused about contract law from the standpoint of how it applied to our Moorish American nationality, as well as the Constitution. I was struggling to try to understand the significance, and in a lot of instances, the parallel that was trying to be made between the two, and how that could propel the body politic forward.
Now you made mention that in this course there was some stuff about Noble Drew Ali that you were uncomfortable with or didn't jive with.
I did not jive with the fact that, and I did make mention that Noble Drew Ali did or did not Noble Drew Ali leave a blueprint for us to follow. And during the course, it seemed to me that Noble Drew Ali's framework was kind of being pushed to the side as being either incomplete, insignificant, or not robust enough to support the initiative. And so they would have to start, basically from scratch, because it was more of a religious organization, if I don't hope I'm not misquoting, versus a civil organization. So there was a lot of controversy in my mind about what contribution Noble Drew Ali left, and how we should put aside what his framework was, because it didn't seem to fit what they were trying to accomplish currently. That's what I got from it.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did you get into this information?
Oh boy, kind of like a roundabout way, almost. I like to say I kind of accidentally, but not, because there really are no accidents. I kind of stumbled into finding out who I am along the way. Been years and years of just picking up things here, picking up things there, and then about a year and a half ago, I was doing some studying under someone else, and at the same time, I was also seeing the connection between those studies and the Moors, and me being a avid history person. I started, putting two and two together and started doing my own investigation, which kind of led me even deeper into the Moorish community, and it led me to the Moorish directory, and it led me to Noble Jonathan Bey, and that is how I kind of got my feet wet from that perspective. And then in doing some further studying and doing some communication with Noble Jonathan Bey, I was started to become affiliated with some of the other master teachers. And so contract law and the law was something that, even in some of my communications, I had let it be known that one of my interests was law. I have a master's degree from, whatever, university you want to call it. But I do have a master's degree, and I have taken certain, courses. So I was not unaware of the law. I was just not aware of how it applied to me as a Moor. So that's how I kind of got into it. And then I had been following, again, one of the master teachers, and again, very knowledgeable. And when the opportunity came up for this contract law class, I said, oh, okay, well, this might be something that, would give me a little bit more knowledge about the Moors. I wasn't really going into it looking uh, for a, what you call a bar associated or American bar affiliated study. I had my feet wet in undergrad, so I kind of knew that if I wanted to go that direction, I could have pursued in that arena. So I didn't go into it those expectations. I kind of went into it more of an expectation. Well, let me see how this equates to what I had been studying. And to my surprise, it started out okay, but then somewhere about the third or fourth week, it went left of center, and it just kept going after that. And it just really got confusing. Some of the concepts, when I questioned, they kept saying, okay, we were talking about it not from a concept of the Moorish science. I think that's the way they put it. They were talking more from a jurisprudence. But I'm like, well, if it all goes together, how can you have one without the other? So that didn't make sense to me. And then
Wow, that's big. That's big right there.
so it was just those little things like that. And then, and like, I think I also had a little bit of a advanced knowledge because of my communications and the studies that I had been doing previous. So, when I started hearing certain things and I started going back and looking at it, I was like, this ain't adding up. And then I started asking, trying to be polite and ask questions, and I didn't get any response. And so that kind of, or the response that I
Let me
did.
ask you this question: when you say you went in with a certain level of knowledge from what you were taught, you're not talking about like conscious knowledge. You're talking about went to university or whatever.
Exactly.
Right. Like you're not talking about what you studied on your own.
No, I'm talking about what I studied,
right.
contract
No,
or
right.
law 101. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Yeah.
So contract law or whatever the subject matter, 101, you were going in with.
Right.
So by the time you got to a certain place, you already started feeling funny about things because of what you had already known from before.
Right. And it didn't match up. And because
Right.
I knew that they were not going to be teaching university law concepts. I was not expecting that. I was expecting them to be teaching concepts that were based on the original, I hope I'm saying it right, the original jurisprudence, and based on the Constitution and the treaties, or some of the treaties that got us into the situation that we're into now, such as the Treaty of Verona, and the Berlin Conference, these type of things. I was expecting to kind of get more of an understanding of and how it related to some of the treaties that were put in place well before. Maybe some of the more ones that maybe were outdated. I don't know if I could say it that way, but they still had some kind of historical significance where they could help tie the dots, where people could say, okay, what is the significance of the fall of the Alhambra, or the the continued homology, the Spanish Inquisition. What is the significance of that? These are things that we don't know, and they have a solid connection from a jurisprudence standpoint because they are tied to certain treaties and laws and things of that nature. That's what I was
Looking
expecting.
for. Yeah.
That's not what I got.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, so maybe it was me, maybe I expected too much, but for the amount that I laid out, I think I should have gotten somewhere closer.
To where
And
you want it to be.
well, yeah, and
Yeah.
also, and I give, and they to their credit, they did say that, this was, they were just starting out, and maybe since they were just starting out, maybe they should have given, maybe a more consideration to that, because there was a lot of changes midstream. Um, you know, um, there was not a lot of opportunity for folks to really practice or really dig deeper into what they were being told. They were kind of just being told, and since they paid for it, they figured that was it, and that was it.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it for me, it just kind of missed the mark a little bit, and um I would hope that at the end that they would have some kind of feedback, so that someone such as myself and maybe some of the other students who weren't as vocal could give their honest and not mean criticism, but really some constructive criticism on if this is what they're going to do going forward. It may need to be a little bit more thought out.
Right. Well, this is one of the things with regard to why we ride with the master teachers
Mm-hmm.
as far as our quote unquote start date. So our start date is 2008. Anybody who was around at that time, that's who I'm riding with, because that's who brought us up. That's who let us sit at their feet so we could learn this information. That's who gave us the thumb drives. That gave us the terabytes with information on it
Mm-hmm.
for us to go study. Not to go tell somebody, hey, I got this terabyte, give me 100 and I'll give you this terabyte with the files on it. Because this is about a birthright. This is about you reclaiming something that's yours. So when I went to reclaim what was mine, only people I seen around me were master teachers. I didn't know dirty Moors. I didn't know package sellers. I didn't know religiousized master teachers.
Mm-hmm.
All our master teachers were adepts. All. There was not, whatever field they were in, they were at it. Not the fourth, fifth generation from the master teacher that people are pumping up like if they're somebody. Half these people pretending to be master teacher, you never even see them with a fez or a turban on. Playing. Go ahead, brother Yusuf.
Islam, mother. How long was this course?
It was supposed to be 12 weeks, and goodness gracious, we're now, and we started like somewhere in September, and we still have one more week to go, because of different things that they've pushed it out, week after week. So One more week, which would be not this week. Next week will be the final session.
Are they having them on Zoom, or you guys meeting at a place?
No, because of the restrictions, most of the class takes place on Zoom. Even though I do think there are a few folks that are on location.
Oh, okay. Because it was just, it's just, I like how you were saying earlier about I wanted you to go in a little bit more on the confusion about the Noble Drew Ali part and how they were like trying to like change it up.
Yeah, they really don't talk about Noble Drew Ali unless somebody brings it up, and then they really just try to brush it to the side. It's not like they start the session, honoring Noble Drew Ali. Not saying that they should, but at least somewhere, they should be kind of like be mentioning, what his framework, is. It says in scripture, and even in the Holy Quran, of these things that, you will do better than me. So to say that Noble Drew Ali did it all but didn't do anything, that, and then not mentioning him, and then establishing your own, your own, I guess, consulate. What do they call it? The United Res Republic? That's their own consulate. That's their own body politic. That's their own thing that they're starting. That's not based. Is that based on Noble Drew Ali's principles and his framework and foundation? Well, if you're not talking about
Nah,
him, and if you're not promoting it, then hey, it's quacking. It's waddling. It's looking like a duck to me. I'm just saying.
right. That's just all amazing how they would just brush off the prophet like that when you bring them up. That's why I had to bring that back up again. I was just like, man, that's crazy. Like, because like you said earlier though, it was because it wasn't fitting what they were trying to push with their agenda.
Right. And it took me, it took me a minute, because like I said, I connected the dots. And one of the things that drew me to it, because some of the things that they were talking about, I had already seen, from the Moorish directory, and from my involvement in the activemoors.com. So I had seen some of this stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, they must be on the same wavelength. Then come to find out, oh, no, 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 no. They're doing their own thing over here, and they're not even worried about what's over there. So I'm like, well, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel when you already got the framework that Noble Drew Ali has established? You've already got folk that are very knowledgeable, such as you brothers on the Canaanland Moors, and others that are out here actively, industrially doing the work. Why are you trying to do something completely radical that's totally different? And you're still talking about, instead of, if we're supposed to be moving from the Piscean age into the Aquarian age, why are we still talking about stuff? Don't we got enough information now that we just need to go on out here and do something?
Yep. Not. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like you said, they're reinventing the wheel. Already doing stuff that was laid down years ago.
Years ago, years and years and years ago. And all you got to do is just pick it up and just go and just take. We are too much of a genius not to be able to go and we've done this stuff. We're nation builders, we're civilization builders. We know this stuff. So why do we keep talking about it, and why do we keep sidetracking and letting other folk that, like you said, are dirty Moors or that are colorable folk that are just standing in the way and really not contributing or participating, but just kind of just holding up the process. It's just time to, it's time to, I don't know how you move them out of the way. Maybe you just expose them. I don't know. But, it's time, for something else to be done. I mean, too many people have said it. Malcolm said it. Martin Luther King said it. You know, you know, 1963, 2020. I mean, the parallels are too similar, and it's like, we got to, like brother said, you got to ride with the adepts. And there are adepts out here, and there are adepts that are putting the work in, and that are giving of their time and of their limited resources, and we still just beating around the bush,
Yep.
Like someone had asked in the chat, where is the Moorish government? Right. Where is the Moorish government?
Tell them to stand up and look in the mirror.
Right.
I can't say it any simpler than that. Stand up, go into your bathroom. If you got a big floor to ceiling, cut the light on and stand and take a good hard look at yourself. You are the Moorish government, and it took me a long time to get to understand that concept. I self-law am master. If I can govern myself, if I can govern my household, that's what I should be doing. Why should I walk out of my door and then leave everything that I know about myself in the house to go out and adopt something that I have no knowledge thereof? Makes no sense. So we need to stop asking that question. I ask myself this question: if not me, then who?
Damn.
Islam.
Islam.
And I have no political aspiration. None. I just have a big mouth, and I have the ability to be very articulate, and I am nosy as all get out, and I'm not afraid to say what I need to say. So, and I'm not afraid to do what I need to do. I'm not going to go out and ask somebody to do something that I have not done myself. So if I'm willing to put my neck on the chopping block, then guess what? I would expect for the next person to do the same. But if that's not what you want to do, that's fine. Just keep on moving. Just keep it moving. I've learned to, best thing to do sometimes is just, it's not a bad thing. Leave people where you find them. Some people are happy where they are. Leave them there. Other people, we got things to do. It's time to get moving.
Like you said, it all starts with self.
All self starts with self. Do you value yourself enough? Do you like yourself enough? Because I know one thing. I'm not finna to let no one, I don't care who you are, tell me what's good for me. It's not going to happen. It hasn't happened yet, and I'm considerably mature. That's the way I like to put it. and no, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen,
And I also want to put out there, Black's Law Dictionary, government. The system of polity in a state, that form of fundamental rules and principles by which a nation or state is governed, or by which an individual or by which individual members of a body politic are to regulate their social actions, a constitution, either written or unwritten, by which the rights and the duties of the citizens and public officers are prescribed and defined as a monarchical government, a republican government, etc. An empire, kingdom, state, or independent political community. If Drew Ali told us that this is the Moorish Empire, how don't we have a government?
Because we don't think we have a government.
That's the only way.
That's
how they always beat us.
We don't think.
And again, Drew Ali told us to think.
It's the mental shackles that we have that are the most insidious and the hardest to break, because it's been passed down from generation to generation. It goes right back to scripture where we have the generational curse down to the third and fourth generation. We really don't understand a lot of what that means, because we've lost so much in the transliteration and just the outright lies, and who can you blame? I mean, at this point in time, we really don't have any time to sit around and point fingers. I mean, we got to play catch up. So, like when folks ask me, they're like, well, where do I start? And I'm like, well, for me, the easiest way that I started was to know that everything that I thought I knew was a lie. So now I can start with a clean slate. Makes it a lot easier than trying to wrestle with yourself, trying to figure out what's true and what's not true. Just know everything that you was told was a lie. And so now you know that, then you need to go out there and start digging for the truth. And knowing along the way, at least from my experience, that once I started digging for that truth, I tell you, people came out of everywhere. And I'm talking about, people that put you on the right path. Yeah, there was some people that, you're going to meet, but you have to get that spirit of discernment, But how you going to do that if you don't believe, if you don't think? If you think, you are. I think I am. That's all I need.
And again, make sure we put it on the record that we ride with the master teachers. We support the master teachers 100%.
Yep.
All these people who came after 2008, I don't know who these people are. And all I'm doing is getting calls of people talking about how these people played them and all that.
Because, and I don't mean any harm when I say this, but we have got to, as a people, again, I go back to scripture a lot. One of the scriptures, I can't quote the passage and the verse, but it's like, we wanted a king. And then, and it started at why should I come down and be, from my lofty position to rule over you? And then it kept going down until it got down to the weeds. And so then the weeds was like, well, you know what? I'm already down here climbing on the ground. Why not? You want a ruler? I'll rule over you. Well, guess what? This is what we've gotten. We are down here in the weeds, and we are so far on the bottom that everybody else is on top of us, and we still think that we're doing something, and we're not doing anything. We just want somebody to tell us what to do. This is the biggest thing that I see in Moors, especially ones that say that they are conscious. No, you're still waiting for someone to tell you what to do. Don't you know right from wrong? Do it. Do it.
Now I want to ask this too, Mr. Gar. I don't know if I missed it or whatever, but at what point did you realize that what Drew Ali brought, regardless of the subject matter of the lesson, what of that triggered you that, okay, yeah, this is where it's at?
Honestly, understanding metaphysics, understanding as above, so below, understanding that the objective perceived reality is, for all intents and purposes, extremely real. However, we have to be mindful of our subjective. It cannot exist in the objective unless it first exists in the subjective. And when I started putting all of that together and realizing, and a couple of other things, the Nicene Council of 325 AD, all these little things I started putting into place. Then I started realizing the connection. And then I had that epiphany. It was like, holy crap. When you start, especially when you talk to a lot of Moorish first out, the only thing we know about is 1619. We don't know anything else. We don't know that we were enslaved. We don't know the etymology of anything, of any type of word. We think that we can use our 20th century understanding for words that happened way back in 325 AD. So that was something that I had to also learn. But it was knowing that what I thought I knew, I didn't know, and becoming uncomfortable with that. And I mean, real uncomfortable. And then becoming aware of the, just the outright lies and how many people were in on it. Then I got mad. So yeah. It was. Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Everybody gets mad though. That mad one, I don't know. Now I look back at it, I kind of like it.
When I say got mad, that's why I stopped, because then I got mad and then I got busy. Because see, for me, like, it's like when I get, when I get angry, I'm not gonna sit there. You could be like,
Puffing and puffing,
yeah, you could be huffing and puffing every time I see you. I'm rolling my eyes and I'm sucking my teeth and I'm, that's counterproductive. No, I need some knowledge so that the next time I encounter you and you talk something crazy to me, I can put you right in your place real intelligently or real quickly, and I will leave you standing wondering what the heck just happened. That's what I want to do. So, so that's when I say I got mad, and that's when I got mad, and I really started digging, and I started really studying. When the master teachers say study, you have to study, but you also have to study the correct information, and you have to study it in the correct manner. That's been a challenge for me as well, because once I figured out that there was all this information, then I was like, I want to be like the human vacuum. I want to suck it all up, at one time. And but you got to think about it, even like a baby. You got to start out. A baby, it starts out on milk. You can't feed a baby a T-bone steak. So you kind of learn. You kind of dip your toes in, and then you learn, and you just, as you go in confidence, and as you meet more like-minded people, then you keep on going. But you have to also caution that no, people are not going to like you. You are not going to be a popular person. So if you want to be popular, this is not a path that you want to take. Because people are not going to agree with you, because you are going against their traditions, their belief systems, their dogma. Um, you know, and it took me a long time too. But what helped me was, once again, going back to the origin of things, and then looking at scripture, when scripture says that corruption cannot inherit incorruption. So when you equate that, if you go back to the original meaning of something, if the original meaning and the intent was to do harm, I don't care how you wrap it up, spray perfume on it, powder it down, put it on lipstick on it like it's a pig. and just shove it on down the road. When you open that box, honey, it's still gonna be stinking. So, and this is something that, I had to struggle with, and this is something that I had to learn that other people also struggle with, which is keeps us, a lot of us, right where we are, afraid to move forward because we don't know. But really, you do know. I know enough to know that I'm not comfortable where I'm standing. So it's like, it's like Martin Luther King, said in his last speech before he was assassinated, the one that nobody ever wants to talk about. Where he talks about leading his people into a burning house and telling them to wait. Well, your house is on fire. The fire truck ain't coming. You ain't got no fire extinguisher. The water's been turned off. What you gonna do? You just gonna stand there and wait and keep hoping that something's gonna happen, or you gonna look for a way out of that burning building?
You better. You better look for a way out.
And these are things, same thing like with Malcolm, the ballot or the bullet. These are things that are coming to fruition, and these are decisions that we're going to have to make. And I'm telling you now, unification, we need safety in numbers, safety in we need to get that. If nothing else, like the prophet said, if nothing else, nationalize. You can worry about the rest. We can worry about we don't like Aunt Sally because she makes them horrible rhubarb pies on whatever day. We can fight about that later. Right now, nationalize.
Proclaim and declare who you are.
Declare who you are. Be yourself. Don't be Negro, Black, African American. And that's another thing that made me, angry also. When I realized, you start looking down through history, we the only daggone people that have been changed names. How come our name keep changing? And then when you look through, the anthropology or the how come they keep digging up people that look like me? Find your people and dig them up. You see? Well, we don't question that. We say Egyptology. Where's Germantology? I mean, where are them 9,000-year-old skeletons or 5,000 or 3,000-year-old skeletons? How come they keep digging up our folk?
Shit. Yeah. Brother Yusuf, you got anything to add in? My mother's been going in.
Yep, those were Green Sheep. Remember I told you the other day though, what happened to the stories?
Yeah.
So I just been sitting back listening, like yo, I've been waiting for a while to hear one of these stories like this, like because just the same thing. Like she said, she was mad. I remember the same thing, crying for hours. Like yo, what just happened? What just happened? Just crying. Like, what do you mean? Like, well, if that's the case, then this is, and I'm like, oh man, it was just too much. Like you mad and happy at the same time.
Yep. But you more mad,
Yep.
and and then you wanted to, because I know me, I wanted to lash out, and I probably did lash out, at times until I got a handle on it. But then, as I, continued my journey, and I realized that, at the end of the day, whether we want to admit it or not, we got ourselves into this situation. And knowing that, the only people that's going to get us out is us. So we need to go on and just accept it. Stop looking for somebody to blame. Like I have to tell myself all the time, you know who the enemy is. Their playbook ain't gonna change. The rules of engagement for them is not gonna change. The ones that you don't know are the ones that say that they are down for you, but they really not. Those are the ones you're gonna have to do a Harriet Tubman on them, and you're gonna have to figure out who they are, and that's the painful part. That's the painful part.
Mm.
So, but it is what it is, you know. And everybody can't go. I mean, you don't want to say it that way. I didn't want to say it that way. But until you get mad enough to get up and save your own butt, ain't nobody coming to save you. I keep telling people I'm looking for Jesus because I need to have a confab with him. Because it's
Yeah.
long overdue. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? No disrespect. I just need to have a confab because, hey, but, and then people say to me, well, Jesus paid it all. Jesus paid it all. I said, well, you know what? Let me think about this realistically. This is how I say when you start thinking. Okay, if you're thinking to yourself and you're honest with yourself, you ask yourself this question. How many people would you lay down your life for? Just one. Just name one. Okay, like I said, question asked and answered. So, ain't no way in the world that no man laid down his life to save me so I can do any daggone thing that I want to do. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Because I wouldn't, and I wouldn't expect anybody else to lay down their life for my foolishness, because I know I would.
Especially if it's foolishness.
Especially if it's fool. And we see all types of foolishness. And I tell myself constantly, like I said earlier, I don't have physical children. I have spiritual children. But I do this for the physical children that I see, because our babies need us and we are failing them miserably. Miserably. We don't do it for ourselves, do it for our babies. Don't let them continue to indoctrinate our babies into this madness. Tell our children, teach our children the truth about who they are so they can know, so that they don't have to be beholden to this nonsense for the next 4 or 5 generations, if we have that long.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the kind of stories you want, I got plenty of stories. I can story you all day long. Somebody told me once I should write a book. I said, no, there's plenty of people that wrote a book. Go out there and, take your $1,000 smartphone and just Google a term. I trust and believe. Yeah, I got plenty of books. You don't need me to write no more books or anybody else. Okay. But I can tell you some stories, on my experiences, and it is what it is. You laugh, you cry, and then you get up and then you do something. You do something, any little thing that you can. Even if it's making a phone call. You know how many phone calls I done made to people that I've talked to that, just picking up the phone. Hey, how you doing? I'm so and so and so and stuff. I want to talk to you about this X, Y, and Z. Did you know that this is happening in your community? I mean, these are little things that we can do. You ain't never even got to leave your house.
Especially now.
Especially now. Especially now. Same people could be keyboard bandits that could spread maliciousness. Why don't you do the same thing and spread the truth? And since now that I'm on here, if anybody hasn't realized it yet, if you haven't signed up, register at www.activemoors.com. Get involved. Also, the moorishregistry.org. Go out there, register yourself, be counted. This is our census. We need to know where you are, who you are. Mr. Bay and Jonathan Bay and Noble Jonathan Bay and Noble Tyrone Bay, they just did a video a couple of days ago explaining the Unification Initiative and the importance and the platforms that they are using. This is some state-of-the-art technology, guys, that Moors have developed, that they have even taken the expense to move the daggone thing offshore. It's not even on this continent. This is how secure this is. We need to be looking at that, not over here with this stuff where they could go in at any time. Your First and Second Amendment rights are gone. Get over it. Big Brother is watching. You got these smart TVs. I laugh. People got these smart floor-to-ceiling TVs the size of their walls. They're watching everything you do. Yet we refuse to unify and come together. We refuse. I don't know what else to say.
Islam.
Islam. www.moors.com. Start there. Just start there. Active Moors. I'm sorry. Active Moors. Let me get it right. www. Let me slow down. Capital A. And then the M also is capital, and moors.com takes you right there. You will need to have a profile picture, please, when you go to register. We do that so that we can keep the electronic artificial intelligence population out of our community. But it's a great site. It is a work in progress. It's our site. It has groups in there, rooms in there by state. You can set up by city, whatever your interests are. You know, you want to share ideas, share knowledge. It's like a Facebook, but only better, I think, in my opinion, because it's for us, by us, maintained for our community. So we just need to start using these things that have been developed and created for us.
That's Brother Yusuf, everything's good?
Everything's good. I got the activemoors.com. I'm gonna go check that. I've known about that, but the way that the Moabites broke it down, I got to go back on there again and check it out. It's like RV Bay Publications. I haven't been on there in a while, but then when I go on there, I'm like, man, look at all this new stuff.
Also, they have the Moor App. Again, when you look at the video by Noble Jonathan Bay and Noble Tyrone T. Bay, they go into great detail about the Moor App, and you can download it on your mobile device. And you can have access to RV Bay publications. You have access to the Zodiac Constitution. You have access to all sorts of information right at your fingertips. And most importantly, you will also have access to the Moorish registry.org. So you'll have your nationalization and proclamation papers are right there at your fingertips. This is state-of-the-art technology. This is going to propel us forward, but we need to take advantage of it. It's there for us, and it's been designed, and most of it is free of charge or a very nominal charge. You know, next time we go to spend $7 for a Starbucks coffee, hey, let's think about maybe taking that $7 and donating it to RV Productions, publications, or donating to the Moorish Directory, or or something else that is Moorish based. You know, Islam. That's just like I say.
Islam.
Islam. Just getting set up for the second session.
I give thanks for all the wisdom that the mother gave today too. All the knowledge, the stories. I'm glad. See that, and like she said, anything Moorish, and I give thanks to the Grand Sheik for the Canaanland Moorish platform, so we can have stuff like this, so she can come on and give her story, and tell us her background and some more information about other Moors.
Right and exact.
And honors to the Prophet.
Supreme honors.
All praises. All praises.
So just remember that, we ride with the master teachers. The new people, the no Fez people and all that, we're something's wrong.
Well,
Yeah,
you understand.
we're going.
We understand. At least I know, in my opinion, brother, I understand. At the end of the day, we are in a tight situation, and a lot of folks got to feed their family. I completely understand but there's a way that you could go about doing things. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you said, it's best to ride with the masters, and some of the initiatives that are coming up, they might need to slow down a little bit, and maybe utilize some of the information that is already readily available, and maybe try to come at it from that standpoint, instead of trying to make a quick buck. Maybe think more of on a strategic, maybe of a long-term plan on how it could be something that you can uh, build upon, because that's what it's all about. It's all about sustainability, right? you know
Mhm.
um and you want to be self-sufficient, and you want at the end of the day, you want our communities to be uh, uh, not only just self-contained, but also self-maintained, but also open and flexible enough where you know they can give and take, you know uh, uh, with not I'm not going to say equality, I'm going to say with equity.
Mhm.
Mm,
Mhm.
if that makes any sense. But
Make
it
complete.
starts with us. It starts with I think that if we look at other ethnic ethnicities, they know the benefit of group economics and group development and group policing and community develop. They know this, and that's something that we we developed, but then it was stolen, and now we don't know it anymore, and we got to get back to that.
Islam. Um, uh, and somebody was asking about the app.
Hmm.
Just repeat the app again. The more app.
If Yeah, it's called the Moor App. You can find it if you could go to the Apple Store, or if you have an Android, you can go to a Google Play. And if you want instructions, just go out to the Moorish directory or to Moor Talk, or you can go simply to Jonathan Bay on YouTube, and you'll find it out there. Or better yet, register at activemoors.com. You'll find the link right there.
Islam. There you go. Um, Mo was asking about peace God. Peace God. Mo was asking about MSTA being something and not. Listen, this is where it's at right now. Where you're at, there should be Moors there, and you and them are in a body politic,
Hmm.
and you're governing yourselves
Hmm.
and helping others to govern themselves.
Hmm.
There's not going to be some across the board thing for all the Moors, because there's too many traders for that. So you're looking at Moors where you're at. Unify, galvanize with Moors where you're at. There's not any Moors there, then you be the one. You be the sovereign. It's your state. It's your birthright. There's Moors who we know right now who never ever needed anybody to talk for them or whatever like that.
Hmm.
Nothing. They just stood on their birthright.
And this, and just to piggyback off of you a little bit,
Well, we do the camelback. We don't piggyback.
okay,
The
well,
camel.
we'll just camel back a little bit there. It is important that we also stress the use of the tools that we already have out there. Um, these tools will facilitate, because it's like you said, you may be sovereign, because you may not have any other Moors around you within maybe 100, 200 miles. But guess what? If you go on to the Active Moors website, you can still participate with like-minded Moors that may be, within a 200-mile radius that you might not be able to get to on a day-to-day basis. But we have Zoom, we have Loop Up, we got Meetup, we got Venmo, we got VMO, we got all kind of modes that we could take advantage of, where we no longer have to be co-located. As a matter of fact, um, we're having the Active Moors is having a get together this coming Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 at our site, just for, and it's a Zoom setup just for us who have already registered and those that want to register to come and see what the site is about, to see other industrious and active Moors. You know, the glass is either half full or it's half empty. I like to look at it as half full. What can you do to continue to put into it so that we can fill that glass up to overflowing, so that everybody could come and just partake of what they need, because that's always going to be that knowledge flowing out. But we got to have somebody to put something in there, right? If not me, then who?
Right. We're just about to get into the second half right now.
Okay.
Just getting set up. Islam to all the Moors. You said there was another one? I just sent one. Brother Yusuf, you have anything?
No, this is give thanks to the Moors, Islam, to the Moabites for coming on again. Give thanks, Green Sheep, Islam.
Thank you, Brother Youssef, and thank you, Brother Cujo, for having me on. Appreciate you guys.
No problem, Mother. Anytime. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking up this video. Give me one sec. Yeah. So you can just, All right, Morris, this is 3 minutes. And of course, if there's any colorable language, just don't worry about that right now. Brother Amun Rabe just sent an email to canaanlandguide@gmail.com, or you could hold that question for after this and ask it again. Let me just get this ready. So we're going back, or we're moving forward about the KTS and the Moorish connection to Kemetology, and really I self-law master Kemetic version. So we're getting into the solstice. So we have 3 minutes on with Ra Nephramen on the winter solstice, and then Brother KTS has some reference points, and then we'll do a little Q&A for the last little bit, because you already know 9 p.m. you gotta be there. MHHS, eyes wide open, Blog Talk Radio. But let's get to this winter solstice.
We study the stars to clock the cycles of life. You have to understand that life is based on cycles. Everything in the world is cyclical. And that's why ancient Egypt were proficient stargazers. The time of rejuvenation, of spiritual revitalization, was the winter solstice. Heru pa kahat. Rupa kahat. Put the R over here, and the S in here, and you have Heru, the Christ. Or some churches in America say Karast. So the celebration of Christmas, okay, that you have today is a potpourri of different traditions. What comes to the sun is just not sunlight. There are millions of different wavelengths in that radiation with it. And that's what all things are made from. Kundalini yoga is the cultivation of the solar force. There's no other force. So you can just see this is a cultivation of force. The solar energy comes through the eyes, right? Travels into a gland called the pineal gland. Okay? The pineal gland produces a hormone called melatonin. Scientists can talk to you about the physiological effects of melatonin, but it also has a lot of spiritual and psychical functions. People join churches in cycles, lead churches in cycles. People get married in cycles. You know, people died of this type of illness in cycles. Plagues came in cycles. Everything is subject to the laws of cycles. You with me? Why precisely at the winter equinox at midnight will the world come to an end? You see that date again? They didn't say 2012. They said the winter solstice, midnight. They're precise about it. Right? What's going to happen on that day? There are 10 divine principles, but you know, in your manifested being, and one in your unmanifested being, right? And there are laws that if you live by them,
you will realize your divinity.
Floor is yours, bro.
Peace, everybody. We're here with the Canaanland Moor. We've been doing the Kemetic Cosmology and Moorish connection classes, on some Tuesdays. And so if you have any questions about the last 2-3 classes, now is a good time to write them down. At the end of this whole thing, we're going to do a question and answer for the last 2 weeks, or sorry, last 2-3 classes, few months. And we'll do a question and answer for today for this. So we're going to go into, by the way, KTS, y'all know, KTS, Heru, KTS, Street Shaman. So we're going to be using the Metaphysical 4 and a printout from the author of the Metaphysical 4, and just a little reference, also Metaphysical 7. It's a good reference book. Okay, and that's by Ra Tuan Nefer Amen. So this book right here, we have it's a rite of passage, it's an initiation, and that's what all the fundamental knowledge for the Kemetic cosmology classes is about. It's so that we could get to this and do some work, So in this book, before the solstice, so the solstice is on December 21st, okay? So before the solstice, all right, in between September 21st to December 20, okay? I'm reading out of this now. So from September 21st to December 20, okay? And remember that the solstice is December 21st. It's the time of Heru Behutet. Okay, you can see that on my thing I posted, how it's spelled. The Inheritor of Gab, which is another name for Earth, and the First Judgment. So this is to do now to prepare for the solstice. Another thing is you would have been doing work all year long, meditation work and initiation work to get to this point. So anywhere you start is okay. So this is a really good part to start in. It's okay. So this is what we need to deal with right now between September 21st to December 20th. So we could really deal with the solstice. And we're going to talk about the solstice as well. And today a bit, and again, next week, we're going to do a special one for the solstice. All right, so Heru Behutet, Inheritor of Gab, Earth, and the First Judgment. Interesting, because I just posted something about judgment. If you have done the preceding work, well, you are now ready to inherit Gab, the Earth. The objective of the work that was performed during the last 7 months was to place the 11 laws into your mind to build your divine self-image, a seer. If the work was completely successful, you will not, 1, experience any difficulties from your emotional and sensual nature in your efforts to live truth. 2, the 11 laws of Ma'at will be your reasons for the way you function in life. Divine law. There will be no confusion in figuring about what must be done and why in difficult situations. If this is your state of mind, you are now ready to confront all and any of your conditionings. For the past 7 months, the policy was that you should do your best to live the law that you have been affirming, but to not let it bother you if you failed, because all of the laws had not yet been put into your mind. Your divine self-image had not yet been fully built. So that's the work you do throughout the year. At this stage right now, your divine self-image should be fully built, and you should be ready to step up to all the situations that have challenged you in the past without feeling emotional and sensual antagonism, without mental confusion and doubts about your ability to succeed. This is the sign that you have achieved the state of Heru Behutet, the ability to defeat evil within your being, and that you have passed the first judgment. So keep in mind, he's speaking in extremes, but you do this every year. Be gentle with yourself. It's cool. He's speaking in extremes because this is the optimal, but every year you keep going and you go through it and it's a spiral. All right. This is the foundation of like the Christian calendar with Christmas, Easter, the summer, it's All Saints. This is the foundation of it right here. Okay, and what we really should be doing, and this is more science. This is what the Moors dealt with, period. Heru Behutet rituals, what you should be doing now until the solstice, to prepare for the solstice. You must arm yourself, okay, in case I don't say it now, right now you should be doing some serious water and juice fasting and veggies. Anytime, if you do a fast anytime, do it now. You do it for the solstice. Okay, so if you do a fast anytime, you do it for the solstice. So you should be doing water. I've been doing water and juice and fruits, very like no grains, no dairy, no meat, no nothing, right? And taking some supplements anyways. So that's one thing in addition to this. Heru Behutet rituals. You must arm yourself with the law of Gab, which states, know that from heaven you came and to heaven you will return. Seek not enduring works on earth. You are master of the earth through your likeness with God, and go forth to confront the challenging situations in your life. Go through your journal, because throughout the year you do a meditation journal, Go through your journal and place a check mark on all the situations that you were able to confront successfully during the past 7 months. Place an X on the situations that you either failed to live the truth in or just did not come up. 3. Your task from here on until December 20th at the beginning of the winter solstice is to, so from now till the 20th, initiate the situations that need to be confronted, internal and external, outside everything. These rituals of confrontation are called Heru Behutet rituals. Let's say that you have been unable to successfully confront the fears and anger that came up when you came face to face with a man who abused you. Even though the matter has been laid to rest, this is the time you go meet the person with the conviction that you will be able to feel at peace in the situation. If your meditations about this were successful, you will be able to carry out the mission in a peaceful state. You must go with the knowledge, emphasis, knowledge, that you will be at peace because you are a divine being and because you have exercised your God-given freedom to choose how you will feel in any and all situations in life. There cannot be thoughts of doubt or not knowing how you will feel and do. You cannot be harassed by thoughts telling you that you cannot be at peace until he is punished by the law or by God. These are signs that the laws did not take full root into your mind. You might have fleeting, light, negative thoughts and feelings. There are no consequences. Just ignore them. So just ignore that. You must ignore all of the unfinished business between September. So you must confront all of your unfinished business between September 21st and December 20th. During this period, and this during the available time and energy. So dedicate all available time and energy to this. Okay, then you deal meditation, which I'm not going to go over. We deal with the 42 declarations of Ma'at, which I'm not going to go over. So you do some specific meditations, okay, which we can talk about. And then that will help you to lead into this and to confront. And you go over the 42 laws of Ma'at. They're all here. I'm not going to go through them. And then that leads you into the winter solstice. Okay, so now that so make everything clear that we did the classes with Kemetology, Moorish Cosmology for the last couple months, so you can get all your questions for that. Now we're speaking about what's happening right now, because what if all that knowledge leads to what we're supposed to be doing, actually practically doing every day. So what we're doing right now is the Heru Behutet rituals, which is confrontation, which we just spoke on, to lead into the solstice, which is coming up next week on the 21st. And we're going to do a special live again next week for that, because we don't do these often, and we do them for certain reasons. So now that being said, we're going to talk about the solstice ritual. Okay, this is the work to be done December 20th to December the 24th. Okay, keep with the fasting and the water and the juicing and all that. Okay, the winter solstice, the final judgment. This, as the saying goes today, the most wonderful time of the year. See, they take the Christmas, the essence of Christmas is peace on earth and joy and happiness and giving, because that is the essence of Ma'at, of love. But they take it and they consume, and they tell you to consume and consume and consume the lower self, and they make you come off of the higher self. What you're supposed to be doing, the higher self, and they jack you. So this is where you take it back. And you take all that energy and you do these things. So instead of consuming Christmas parties and food and all this stuff, you do the exact opposite. I've been drinking water and fruits for weeks now, since December hit. Nothing but no green, nothing. So just that's what you need to do. Right? Anyways, this, as the saying goes, is the most wonderful time of the year. It is the time when the spirit of a seer within you, your conscience, now armed with the 11 laws of God, judges you to pronounce you Ma Keru. Ma'at, that's a combination of Ma'at and Heru. One whose word is the law of God. Once the great work, the opera magnum, has been completed, a lesser judgment that shows that you are well on your way is also a magnificent value. Not only will you receive a verdict You will also be shown things that you have missed, ways to improve your person, and a tremendous amount of insight into spirituality, especially as it concerns to your life and the life of people that you are involved with. Okay, this is all during the winter solstice. Now, this is the work to do for the winter solstice. Preliminaries. A week or two before, around the December 6th, so now, you must embark on a totally healthy diet. There you go. It must be free as much as possible of pesticides, food additives, the junk that should have eliminated anyway, along with the past 10 months, in the last 10 months. A vegetarian diet is preferred. You can get more details about this other places. Anyways. The solstice work consists of 4 days of meditation. You should make the greatest effort to dedicate all available time and energy to this. The meditation consists of, and we can go into the meditation next week, the classical 42 declarations of Ma'at, freedom from sin, that was used in ancient Egypt, must also be meditated upon in trance at this time. And that's what we're going to do next week. So we're going to do an actual meditation for 20 minutes of Ma'at. That's what you're supposed to do during the solstice. Select the ones that are appropriate to do it this. Anyways. That's really the gist of it. You know, that's really the gist of it. You just get right to the heart of it and don't make more words. That's it, all in a nutshell. You can rewind it and listen to it again and stuff. So now would probably be a good time to do the question and answer.
Yeah, you said you had another book reference there. Let me just put that up. Sounds like 7. No, let's look at it.
So anyway, there's this printout here. So during the winter solstice, you want to place the 11 laws of the divine spirit, Ma'at, into the mind to enable the mind to direct the life force, the Ki or Ra, in a harmonious manner, as to gain full control over your life force, Ra, Ki or Kundalini, in a harmonious manner as to gain full control over your life. Okay, so that's the solstice is really, this is really the most important time. This is why we're doing this right now, because we don't have time. We don't have time to go live and to do this stuff every week, but this is really important. And as you already know, Cujo and the Moor have been consistent forever. So we're going to get into the question and answer. If anyone needs to know what they need to do right now, just rewind and listen. Any questions, or we're good?
Yeah, we look straight. Anybody have anything?
Okay.
Islam.
Islam, Mark.
Islam. Quick question. Just with, because I really can't ask it until next week, because that's when he said he's going to do the meditation part. So my stuff is really quick. Just because you were saying the meditation in the form of Ma'at, so I was wondering, and then you said that'll be for next week. That was my most specific question. Like I was wondering how that was gonna be. Like,
okay,
I've never heard of that.
That's a really great question. So so every meditation, there's one specific intent, and we work with one specific energy or deity or law for breath. So during the solstice, we focus on Ma'at. So we have audio meditations. So we have actual meditations on audio specific. So every law or energy or deity also has a tone, specific musical keys, specific tones that you sing. So we have meditations based specifically for Ma'at, and that's the ones you would do during the solstice. So that's what I meant by that. And we will do it next week. And yeah. Do you have a copy of the 42 laws of Ma'at or the 42 declarations or anything like that, or the 11 laws? You can just check that out.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Give thanks for that.
Yeah, give thanks. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to next week.
Do it. Well,
I've been waiting for this for the last 2 weeks. I'm always excited for this to come on Fridays. I be waiting for this. This is what I be wanting to really, so you go to that level where you're just like, you know what, I know what this is really about. You know what I mean? And this is where I want to focus on for me. You know what I mean? Especially like this is what I want to know right here.
Yo, man, no honors, bro. That's honors, man. That's enough respect, because like real, yeah, that's real. Anyways, real recognize real. That's honors. So what I would highly recommend for you, bro, what's your name, brother?
I'm Brother Yusuf.
So Yusuf, what I would highly recommend for you is to get the Metaphysical 4, and if you can't find it, hit up Cujo. We can send out copies, binded copies of the book for some notes that goes towards the temple. So we have the book. Everybody get on the Metaphysical 4. As soon as you read it, then you're in the group. You're in the initiation, the rites of passage, and then you'll get all your answers in there. And this is the most practical. Even the author himself said, "Listen, if you're started 20 years ago, if you started 40 years ago, you're starting right now. If you're going to start with one book, you start with Metaphysical 4, because that's all encompassing of what we need to do right now. Every day it's practical. Like it literally has dates in there for stuff to do right now. As you can go back to the video and see the specific dates right now of things to do. It's not a reading book, it's a workbook. Yeah. So you read the book and then you're able to start doing the work. So get the 4. Get the 4, Yusuf, and then once you read it, hit me up and you can join the group. We have a group, a WhatsApp group, specifically for people who read the book, who own their own book, read it, and want to actually do it. That's the 3 prerequisites, and there's a very small, tight group.
Oh, that's okay. See? Give thanks. I'm glad I asked my question now. I was going to hold it, and then now I'm glad give thanks. Yep, I'm happy about that.
Give thanks, Yusuf.
Needed that one.
Get the book. Get Metaphysical 4. Hit up Cujo. And
I'm going to get it. I will get it. I'm going to definitely get it.
Yeah. That's it, man.
And I put it in the... Did you notice in... Where is it? Do you notice in the... Because it kept talking about the 7 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is there that same numerology throughout the Kemetic system with 13, 7? So is that specific to the meditation and the mastering self?
Yeah, so that's a really good advanced question. So what we're dealing with here is the Assyrian tree of life, which is operating on the solar cycle. So this is solar cycle. It's a tree of life and in rites of passage, specifically for the Asir, to cultivate Asir consciousness through the solar cycle. There's the Metaphysical 6, which is the cultivation and the use of Ra. That's a whole other tree of life, which you use after you master this. And then that is where you deal with lunar cycles. Both tree of lives are affected by both lunar and solar cycles, which is just a given because everything's affected by all things. Yet the focus is on the Syrian Metaphysical 4 is the solar cycles. And that's what you're picking up with the 7 months of doing the work, which is very specific to each law. So February 21st, you start with the law of a man. And for a month, you meditate and reason on the law of a man. And then you're in a part of, this is a rites of passage. So this is supposed to be done with a group of people.
Yeah.
So I think that should answer the question. So yeah. The Syrian initiation is based on the solar cycle, Asir, which is consciousness itself. And consciousness itself always controls energy matter, which includes the spirit, the mind, and the body. All of that is energy matter. So that's Ra. So that's why consciousness, Asir, has to be cultivated first. So it's like the car and the driver. The car is the analogy of Ra, and the driver is your consciousness, Asir. You can have the best car in the world, you got to know how to drive it.
Yeah.
And everyone always asks about astrology. Astrology falls into play with Ra, the energy matter. Consciousness controls astrology. Put it in perspective. Astrology is a factor. It's obvious. It's a given. The same thing though. Astrology. Okay, you're a Pisces, Aquarius, whatever. You have this, that, and a third. That's the type of car you have. Do you still not have to work with that consciously? Do you still not have to operate that vehicle, that astrology? So put astrology in perspective. You control the stars don't control you. Consciousness controls astrology, which is why we focus on the Metaphysical 4 to initiate your consciousness and get it in harmony with divine law. And then after 3 to 5 years, then you go into the Ra system and then learn how to empower, to use words of power to the Ra system.
Heavy.
That's it makes sense now. That's why Bobby Hemmett in the 90s, he was master teacher Bobby Hemming. He was saying, I'm all that shit. I done mastered all the sciences of the zodiac. It makes sense. It makes sense now. It makes sense because you control the stars don't control you. I comprehend now what he meant by that.
Honors to Bobby Hemmett. He's our direct teacher, man. Straight up. Ray learned directly at the feet of him, directly live in person. Bobby Hemmett.
At the feet.
Directly. More honors to him, though. Yeah.
You remember it was -25 that day?
Yep.
It was something crazy.
Crazy. Keep dealing with the music. Dark energy matter. You keep dealing with the music. Dark energy.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a real one. And he killed those patties.
Y'all don't have any, you had that on video? Or video footage of that?
Yeah. Yeah, we have the video of Bobby Hemmett in Toronto.
Yeah.
We have video of Alimel Bay in Toronto. We have video of you name it.
So crew.
Phil Valentine.
That's on Canaanland?
No, that's not.
The Bobby Hemmett one's on Canaanland?
No, that's all that is thingy or VHS. I mean DVD.
Mm-hmm.
DVD. Yeah,
oh, okay.
Those will be the play ones. Play those ones. Yeah.
Oh man.
She getting up. Yeah. Hammett. Kava.
Rishi, you know we trying to see those, man. Everybody in the chat, I want to see it. You know we trying to see those.
Yeah, we got those. We got those. That'll be one. But Sheldon was telling me to try something. I might try it.
You know, if you look up on YouTube, like Alimel Bay and Bobby Hemmett and Black Dot talking about Toronto, you'll see some stuff. Then some stuff will come up.
Yeah.
Because they talk about us, because we were there through the links from like the late or the early to mid
2000s. Yeah. It was a good time.
The first lecture Alimel Bay ever did was in my condo in Toronto. And then he did the whole weekend. He came back. He did 3 days in a row. Twice, 3 times. He came and did 3 days in a row of lectures. Alimel Bay, more honors and respect.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like what 2006 or something, 2005. With the Alim ones.
Yeah, 2008 or so. Yeah,
yeah,
because it was over a span of about 3 years.
Yeah.
We had AA Rashidi on the phone. That was a big one on my phone. Yeah, AA Rashidi doing a lecture in the bookstore on my phone.
Yeah, couldn't quite get over
the border.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get over the border. Lecture on the phone. Straight.
Any more questions over there? But
no, they look straight. They got what they got. It's all about next week meditation. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
That's what it's at.
Get on the work. This is not a reading book. It's not a book club. It's a work. It's an initiation.
Work club.
Work. Really. I really just have very, very few people. I cut people out of it real quick. It's just a very few people in there. That's just always talking about the Metaphysical 4. That's all we talk about in this, and that's all it is. Every month, and you reason and meditate on the laws every month, and that's the basis, as I was saying in the beginning. That's the basis of the Christian calendar. Christmas, solstice, spring equinox, like all them, Easter, summer, all saints, like summer solstice. It's all based on that. So you learn the foundation of it. You could like all of it.
Yeah.
I celebrate Christmas, everything, Halloween, Day to Day. I celebrate all of that with my kids and tell them the truth.
Yeah. Don't
let them take that shit away. Everyone say bun this and that, or like stop doing this and that. Why? That's our shit. Like it's like Prodigy said, yo, hold on, let me play something. I'm gonna play something for y'all right now.
Thank you. And the music that we make is hardcore rap music. Just open my eyes even wider. Simple things like when you say amen after you pray, like where does that come from? Like the origin of the Bible,
the origin of the Quran.
I
And
want no one
I
jacking
came across
this.
the word
I want to talk over
Illuminati.
it.
I wanted to put what I was
Ain't no one
learning
jacking
into
this
the
shit.
music.
I work hard
The
on
word
this edit.
means like the illuminated ones.
Yeah.
Light is like information. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
So you know I'm
you see
gonna
the
get
light
to
now.
KTS.
I found out the origin of the information that they were teaching.
Took me days to edit.
It basically comes from this group called the Essenes in Egypt. These are like the original culture. Like the scholars, doctors, scientists,
that's where
esoteric thinkers,
that comes from the lineage of the Essenes, the Phoenicians,
for
and the
example,
Minoan.
look at the pyramids.
Come from the Minoan
Nobody
island.
understands how the pyramids were built. These are the people that had that knowledge. Eye of Horus, the pyramid.
All of this stuff.
Those are artifacts. They represent certain things about people from ancient
the science
black
of the solstice that we're talking about.
Egypt. You know what I mean? Ancient Egypt. You got
Ancient
group of people.
That's when we just start talking about
black
on the spiritual metaphysical level more.
They rape and pillage our culture. They got you thinking your own people and your own artifacts and your own symbolism is evil.
That's what
so
I'm
I
saying.
decided to like plant seeds.
They make you think your own shit is evil. Christmas is evil. Halloween's evil. All this shit's evil. That's all our shit. All of it.
Yeah. All that shit.
Yo, we live by 10 laws, 5 principles. Initiation, meditation, 5 rituals. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. One nation, one God, indivisible. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. Initiation, meditate, divine rituals. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. One nation, one God, indivisible. Bringing forth light through the dark. That's the first thing that you at least taught. You're a divine being, can be so. I started learning a lot about health, and diet, and lifestyle, and how it does actually. Yo, we live by 10 laws, 5 principles. Initiation, meditate, divine rituals. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. One nation, one God, indivisible. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. Initiation, meditate, divine rituals. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. One nation, one God, indivisible. Bringing forth